All right, going live now. And hopefully this works. What is up, guys? Andrew here, and welcome to Comicbooker. Whoops. All things comics from a creator. So let me know if you guys can hear me well, if the volume is okay this time, because I have been troubleshooting that and it's been tricky, but hopefully you can hear me well. So there's no agenda today. I just wanted to hang out for a little bit and sketch. There's a bunch of projects that I have in the hopper, but I figured I should get some sketching out today, just free sketches, because it's nice to sit back and relax and not think too hard about what the agenda is. Yeah, and just draw what you feel like. I think that's really important. So let's start off with I want in a 10 by 8 canvas. So actually I'm gonna make a new one. That's good. That's good. Great. 10 by 8. Create. And I'm just going to do some free sketching. And inevitably, when you do some free sketching, you start thinking about all the other things that you kind of want to do. So this might turn into something you'll see later. Anyway, how are you all doing? Let me know in the chat. Let me check really quick. Noah Agiman, what's up? How you doing this Sunday? What you up to? I hope you are in the mood to draw, in the mood to sketch. Because I just need to warm up today. It's nothing quite like just aimless sketching to get you warmed up for maybe some real drawing later on in the day. I forgot who said this, but the concept is taking a line for a walk. And that's just drawing whatever comes to mind. I think it really helps because if drawing and making art is a mind muscle thing, because it's a physical activity ultimately, right? Then the same thing with push-ups and working out and all that stuff, it also applies to this, which is that the more you practice it, the more you can do it without thinking too hard, the less pressure you put yourself to work on it, the better you'll be over time. I think this is turning into some kind of nun, so I have a weird I don't know, people who've read a bunch of my comics may have noticed this weird religious thread going through a lot of them. I have a lot of nuns in them and gods, and it's just a really funny, there's a lot about religion, organized religion, and thoughts about how they all fit into what they mean to the human experience, and all these other things that I think about, having grown up very Catholic and having been raised to be, that kind of devout Christian Catholic culture, which I'm sure some of you guys are also from. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot about finishing things mostly because I'm working on this planning video I'm working on a video that's all about planning for basically the bulk of my work this year, the book that I want to put out this year, and the it's so horrible. The strategy, the marketing strategy, and the release schedule, and all these other things that we as artists don't like to think about when we're making work. I'm trying to do that now and get it out of the way so I can focus on the fun part, which is actually drawing and writing and making the art. But the planning stuff is essential. Otherwise, you'll have at the end like it's like you made an arrow and you set it loose, but you had no target. You know what I mean? Noe Egeman is sketching right now. Go Noah! Awesome. Dominique Church, welcome. Welcome, Sister 19. Online. Hope you're all having a chill Sunday. Honestly, I wanna... Oh man, these feet are not working. What if I just... I'm gonna turn her into a monster, so... It'll be the dragon nun puppet lady. Yeah, essentially, there's a lot that's unfinished. Basically, I've committed to a bunch of things, and this is on the topic of like finishing things, which I'm thinking about a lot, right? One good example of that is back in October, I started an Inktober challenge. It wasn't official Inktober. I wasn't following the prompts or anything. I was just doing my own thing, which is doing an X-Men series. And I was supposed to do 31 X-Men drawings in the month of October. And what ended up happening is I think I ended up doing like 20 that month. But because real life and all that stuff, I wasn't able to finish, right? And then obviously I had blocked out some time to do these drawings in October, but November came with a vengeance and I had a lot of other projects going. I did this illustration project for the TED Foundation, and I had a bunch of other stuff to wrap up. But the Inktober project kept nagging at me. It just kept nagging at me. I couldn't get it out of my head. So I was slowly still drawing a bunch of X-Men drawings in my free time. And I think that's because I can't... I could have called it a failure and said, okay, we're done. Like, I only did 20 this month. Here you go, Inktober over. But because it's a series, like a limited series, I felt bad like leaving it undone. So I've just been drawing it slowly and surely over the past few months. Really, November, December, January, and February. And I think I'm on the 27th drawing right now. 28th. See? Oh, sorry. That's the wrong one. I did this one on my last live stream, and I just did this one recently. This is a sneak peek. I haven't posted it yet because I'm still not 100% about the colors. But I have like 3 left to go, and I can't wait. Like, I seriously can't wait. There is something super satisfying about finishing things. Like, I don't know if there's anything quite as fulfilling as finishing a big project that you committed to. Conversely, there's nothing quite as horrifying as having a big project that you haven't finished. And I have a couple of those. And they say that the human brain is designed to 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 focus on the unfinished, on the incomplete, because that's what helps our nature. Like, it helps us build things, it helps us complete things and stuff. So, that's what you remember the most. It nags at you. And my unfinished works have really been nagging at me. Sometimes I say, and you might be the same, I don't know. Maybe we're the same. Sometimes I say I'm gonna do something, and I say it publicly, so that I force myself into the situation where I have to get it done. You know what I mean? It kind of helps with the motivation. But, when I say I'm gonna do it, I'm not always sure I'm gonna be able to do it. Or I usually have like a rosier idea of how much work and how much time it's gonna take. Then of course it takes more of both. Anyway, so there, lots of thoughts about finishing things, and I think it's important, especially if you set a good goal for yourself. I think most people's, like, when they start a comics project, they think, I'm gonna do a giant ongoing series, or I'm gonna do a 300-page massive graphic novel, and it's gonna be exciting and crazy and dope, and it's hard to, it's hard to do that. It's hard to. It's like setting yourself up for failure, especially if you don't have a realistic idea of what what you can accomplish in your day to day, in your regular week. Like, you might have a day job, you might be going to school, you might be doing all these other things, which take time away from expressing yourself creatively. And that's the norm. Oops, am I doing this? Okay. Something's up with my Apple Pencil. Let me repair it. That's not good. What's that? Uh-oh. Okay. That's never happened to me before. Gosh. Technical issue after technical issue. Okay. Let's see if I can troubleshoot this. Bluetooth? Apple Pencil not connected. Attach it to iPad to connected. Okay, there. Now it's connected. That was very strange. Okay, now we're back. I don't know. Does this ever happen to you guys? From Noah. Hey, Noah. Thank you for the kind words. I'm super into X-Men. I'm super happy to be drawing those drawings. But they have been taking up some of my time. And honestly, I want to get them out of the way because I want to focus on this comics project that I've been planning. And it's a serious big deal. Like, that's the new project that I'm gonna be showing at New York Comic Con. For that table, I promised myself that I would get this year, just to get the con experience. Let's draw some. It's like a Minotaur god here. think that looks pretty cool, right? Let's get his head in. His horns. I don't think it's gonna fit in the frame. It's gonna be too huge for this. Let's do that. Whoa. Anyway, what are you guys up to? Let me know in the comments. How's your week gone? Are you reading anything cool? What's happening in your world? I have been sorry, here's on the topic of finishing things again, right? There's another thing which is, I spent a good amount of the last month super duper addicted to this game called Dragon Quest Builders 2. It's on the Switch. It's a kind of Minecraft crossed with a JRPG game, and it was super duper duper fun. I had a ton of fun with it, but it did take up a lot of my free time, and maybe a little more than I care to admit. and it's not a good season so games. I like gaming. I don't know if you some of you guys are gamers. I know for sure, but games come in waves, right? Sometimes, unless you're super in love with like multiple genres of games, usually there's like a game drought, like a whole section of the year where most of the games being released are just okay. You're not that interested in them, and then you're waiting for like a big AAA title or something to hit, something that really matches your tastes, and that just kind of happened. That just kind of happened for me, cause this new Pokemon game came out, and I have just finished this other game, and now there's this second game that I'm super excited to get into, but also I'm like, if I start this, like, how much time will it take away from the comics work that I really should be doing? How much free time will I have left? Because honestly, all the comic stuff I do, the majority of my work is not comics. It's I work in I work at an art school, and most of my week is dedicated to that. So any comics and drawing stuff that I do, just it has to fall in the spaces between that work where I'm trying to pay the bills and get the rent done. And I'd love to be a full-time artist soon. I'm kind of working to that goal. But, as with most things, it's taking a lot longer than I expected to take. Oop, one sec. Let me get my coffee. I'll be right back. Boop. All right, back. Thank you for waiting. And let's get to it. Boom. So yeah, I also so yeah, a lot of the thoughts going through my head right now are about time management and project management and making sure, you get the stuff done that you want to get done, even though there are a lot of things demanding your attention, things that are outside of, your main goals, your major goals. But I don't think this is a unique situation to me. I think most of us are going through this, so I take some kind of comfort in that. Honestly, it's just there's so much to do. And even on the like recreational space, let's say you just want to enjoy it, right? We are we are literally spoiled for choices these days. I feel like we're in the golden age of entertainment. There's so many TV shows, so many movies out. You could binge a new show every day, and then there's even the comics. There's like a lot of comics coming out. Even just confining yourself to like the Western idiom, it's like a ridiculous amount of good comics being put out constantly, and the markets just support it, and then add to that like the manga, the manhwa, the European books. There's so much. There's so much, and I guess the horrible choice we all have to keep making is like, which one do I spend time on versus which one should I mean, because choosing anything is is like saying no to all these other things. So any choice you make, it in a sense it has like a larger negative impact on the other things. And if you're like me, if you like a lot of things, if you want to be inspired by a ton of things, it's like, wow, I can't I can't choose. Analysis paralysis. That's looking cool. All right, let's throw some tone on this. I'm gonna use the watercolor max pack. I really like that. And just use the same tone. We'll do a black and white thing, right? And this is Sister Dragon and Martial Minotaur, or something to that effect. I don't know, I'm just making stuff up. Thank you for being here, by the way, and I hope the stream is, helping you get in the zone to draw. I always say it's the hardest part is starting, and we do what we can to just get there, right? And sometimes when you start, it just like it just inevitably gets done because you started it. It kind of goes back to what I was saying about finishing things and that whole agony I had. Like, if you can start something and you choose well, right, then it can be something that you end up finishing just because maybe you're the type of person who finishes. And it's a good habit to finish things too, I think most of my works are short comics because it's easy to It's easy to work with a smaller page count, you know. Especially if you have like an inconsistent schedule or you don't know how often you're going to be able to dedicate to it. You know, 6 pages is much more manageable than 10, 20, 300. Let me look at the comments. Hey, I want to start digital art, but I haven't decided on what device to buy. I don't have a PC, so I was thinking about buying an iPad. Would an iPad Air be good enough, or should I buy the iPad Pro? This is from Ayush. What's up, Ayush? So, I'm not... Okay, you want to start digital art. I completely recommend the iPad. I really, really enjoy it. If you can get past the initial cost, it's really worth it. I use this every day. This is my bread and butter device. I have a PC and I don't draw on it nearly as much as I could. Even though now I've been working from home much more because of COVID and everything, but I still don't draw on it as much. Like when I feel like drawing, I break out the iPad because it's just so nice and it's so nice to use. I would say though, so couple of factors, right? First off, if you can afford the iPad Pro, I mean, go ahead and do it. But if you are thinking of the Air, I don't think there's a huge difference in the drawing experience between the Air and the Pro. So, you know, if budget is an issue, I would go with the Air because you are getting, I feel like, you know, 80% of the drawing experience from the, and you don't mind the smaller screen, you can get the same performance and Procreate and everything. But my caveat is this: the Air, I think, is due for a refresh sometime this summer. So if you want to get that, like, wait for a sec, because the Air is you know, it's probably gonna get the new center stage camera. It's probably gonna get a better processor. Like, if you're gonna go for the Air, wait a couple of months. They might announce it in March, they might announce it April. So, you know, that's that. If you're gonna get the Pro, now's a good time to buy. I just bought this Pro around November last year. I have been loving it every day. So I completely recommend it. Especially if you're a very mobile person, you're always shifting locations. Having an iPad to draw with is just a dream. Like, I love this. I love this device. I love that you can do all that you want with it, right? Anyway, I hope that answers your question. If you have follow-ups, let me know. From Dominique Favor, huge supporter, love your work. I hope to be as good someday, but I'm passing out because it's later here and got to work. 5 a.m. Oh my God, just want to show something. Thank you so much. Sending love and good vibes your way. I hope you have some pleasant dreams tonight, some inspiring dreams, and yeah, I hope you wake up feeling rested and ready. But thank you for joining the stream. Yeah, this is looking cool. All right, although, what the hell did I draw? You're like, wait, what is this? Okay, enough of that. Maybe let's draw another thing really quick. Again, going back to my brush. Any requests? What do you want me to draw? I'll draw whatever. This is a free sketch. What have I watched recently? Okay, let's what do I feel like drawing? I don't know. I'll just draw. I feel like Okay. I know what to draw. And I'm actually just because I'm sketching and it's just freeform sketching today, I'm not doing guidelines or all the usual stuff you usually see me do, right? I'm just doing freehand. When I was a kid, I would draw with ballpoint pen all the time because I was trying to train myself to be confident and not rely on a pencil where you could erase things. So, that's still kind of my favorite mode of drawing, but it usually means I'm imagining this underdrawing while I'm working, but I'm not showing it. You know what I mean? I see it in my head as I'm drawing, so it usually makes for a worse drawing. But when you're free sketching, you just want to see where everything takes you, so I try not to stress too hard about it. Anyway, so Ayush, I'm fine, love your work, thanks for the inspiration. Thank you so much for your answer. I have some financial problems at home and I want to start earning money with art. Can you give some advice on how to start earning and what are the ways? Earning, how to earn money with your art. That's really tough, Ayush. So the most important thing, I guess, when you're entering into the world of trying to monetize your work is to have a body of work that people can look at and say, I can order that person, order that kind of art from that person. So in a sense, you want a portfolio, right? And it doesn't have to be big, but it has to be substantial enough to demonstrate that you can replicate this type of art regardless of, over and over. Because so many portfolios and so many, artists post a lot of different styles of work online. And while that's great, it's hard for a client, I guess, to look at a mismatch of styles and say, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to get from this person if I ask them to draw a lady or whatever, right? So, yeah, that's the first thing. Have a portfolio. Instagram is good to start if you want to create a portfolio, but try to keep it consistent and try to avoid, I'm guilty of this too. Try to avoid posting whatever, right? Think of it as you're building something. You're building a gallery of works that feel a certain way. And that might be something that you're going to be able to, people have reached out to me through Instagram to offer me jobs and stuff. So there's that. That's my first point. My second point is to I guess you have to offer your services up and you have to commit to jobs, right? And you have to get work under your belt. So sometimes maybe you'll start off with work that maybe doesn't pay so much, but is in your wheelhouse. I've done murals for restaurants here in New York where I spent I spent days painting with this other guy, and all I made was $100 for the whole thing. It was a ton of work, and if you break down the hours versus if you break down the hourly rate for the amount of time I sank into that, it's just not a good number. But it got me good experience, and I have worked in a restaurant. And also, artists online will say don't overvalue yourself, never undervalue yourself, and all that stuff. But really, nothing teaches you how to work and make money from your art than actually doing it. So if you can find an opportunity where you could place yourself at the tender mercies of the economy and say, I will do this for X, that's good experience. And I recommend it. So, yeah, I don't know. Does that make sense? Did I answer your question? I'm not super sure, but I hope that helps. Oh, and also there are places like Fiverr and all these other marketplaces online where you could do small jobs for people. So Google those up. Upwork, Fiverr, those types of sites. Make a profile and get little jobs here and there. This as soon as I could work, I threw myself into work. I actually had, one of the bedrocks of my sort of like comics experience base is when I was in the Philippines and I was fresh out of college. I managed to land a job drawing a weekly newspaper strip for a national newspaper. And that was the Philippine Daily Inquirer, and the comic was ran online. It was based on an MMORPG, and it was a corporate comic, and so I had to base the whole storyline and all the character designs and everything off of the style sheet. I couldn't be super creative with it, right? And I had to work with the editors, and I had to hit the weekly deadline, and I had to do all these things which I didn't really imagine when I first said yes to the job. And it was 5 years of me doing that, and it taught me so much. I mean, my art was it was a work in progress. I grew in public, and my art was not great for that. But man, I can't overstate how much I learned from saying yes to that job and from committing to learning from it. And I didn't earn much from it. I think. How much did I earn for a page? God, I think I made 500 pesos per strip. I'm not super sure. 500 pesos is like $10. $10 for one page of... It's like a full color too. I don't know. I don't think it was great. But it wasn't a good job. But I mean, it wasn't the best of jobs in terms of what's out there in the professional landscape, but it was the best of jobs in terms of my personal development. And so, yeah. I empathize though. I mean, it's hard when you have financial problems. I think a lot of artists go through that, especially the starving artist cliche is a cliche for a reason. But, keep your head up, work hard, be smart, and look at all the options. I mean, for me, you asking for this kind of advice right now is already a good sign, because it means you're open to learning. And ultimately, that's what will make you good, right? If you can learn, if you can answer all your questions and you can learn what you can to be the best. It's the whole shonen manga journey, right? I want to be the very best. The Pokemon journey. It means making mistakes, putting yourself out there, having good days and bad days. Paul Pope said, "This is your garden. Now cultivate it." And he's a comic book artist. He did Batman Year 100. He did Pulp Hope, THB, 100%. Really, really good New York cartoonist, and one of my biggest inspirations. And he said, "This is your garden. Now cultivate it." So sometimes you don't feel like drawing a page. Sometimes you don't feel like working on a portfolio piece. Just do it. Just go into it, because you'll realize that feeling like you don't want to do it, that's just resistance, and once you start, you may find yourself just enjoying it. So just start doing it, just go for it. Anyway, that's that. This is my Batwing girl. And just FYI, guys, I'm gonna have to wrap the stream up soon because I'm gonna run after the bus. I gotta get into the city in a second. So This is going to be a little bit of a shorter stream than usual, but I'll be back next week. I'm trying to make a habit of doing these streams and using the time to chill out and enjoy. I mean, I have to draw anyway, right? Ayush, more questions. Should I only upload original artwork to my portfolio? I would say yes, as much as possible, unless you're like, I don't know what kind of work you're aiming to do, because there's a broad range. There's concept art, there's illustration work, like book illustrations and stuff. There's animation. There's a whole bunch. And if your goal is to, I think it's only in the, okay, sorry, this is a whole topic, fan art and all that stuff. It's normal in the comics world for a portfolio to have licensed characters in it. And that's because usually the artist is chasing some kind of licensed work. And I would say, if you're chasing some kind of licensed work, like you want to work for DC or Marvel or you want to, do that type of stuff, I guess it's okay, but don't make it all unoriginal work. You know what I mean? Throw some stuff in there that you made on your own, that shows that you can create on your own. And the advantage too of drawing someone else's character is the people who review your artwork, when they see it for the first time, they have no connection to your art style. They don't care who you are. You're just one of like a bajillion artists out there, right? But if you draw something that they love, like Batman or Wolverine or something like that, and they can see how you interpret that in your style, it really helps them connect with your work. It's sort of serves as a bridge for them to connect with your artwork. So yeah, that's a roundabout way of saying, make sure all your works are original in the sense that you made them and they're not copies or tracings or master studies or any of that stuff, which it's fine to do a master study, but it's hard. Don't claim it to be your own. That's a big no-no. That's plagiarism. But pepper in fan art here and there. Pepper in characters that you think people will connect to here and there. Stuff that you really like. I draw X-Men characters all the time because I am super, super into X-Men. I'm terrible that way. But, people know the X-Men, and so people know me, get to know me, through that connection. Some people, I don't know, maybe you're not following me because of X-Men. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. Sorry, super ramble. All right, this is, let's call her Lady Seraphim or something. I'm going to throw a quick background on this sketch. Let's do that. Yep, that's nice. And then we're gonna paint in some lights. This is weird because I'm kind of doing this in reverse. I usually have the lights done and then I draw the shadows in. But in this case, I'm doing the opposite. I'm starting from the dark background and then drawing up into the lights. Let's give her a blue dress. I have no idea who this is. This is an OC. Of some sort. Let's give her... what color hair? Let's give her some magenta. God, I love this color combination. I'm the worst. I use it too much. this sort of like magenta-ish pink and then blue. I can't. I keep seeing it pop up here and there, and I'm like, stop, Andrew, use another palette, you know. Can't help myself. It's so fun. It's such a pretty combination. And force of habit. Oops, I don't want to do that. Let's wrap this up. We'll do this. And what I really want to do, because, you know, this is just a dumb sketch, is throw a special effect on top. So we'll use the light pen, right? That's a default light pen. And then draw in our energy effects. Zap. Super cool. And then, let's give her like a weird halo thing. Right? Let's give it a something like that. What about references for poses for an OC? Can that one get in trouble? Okay, so references is another big complicated topic, right? You have you guys gone to this site? It's called Bleeding Cool, and they have a regular feature called, I think it's called Separated at Birth. And I think it used to be a feature on CBR, like Comic Book Resources, that other site. But the gist of it is it's a feature that shows artworks that seem like they were copied over, traced over, or something like that, you know, or swiped. We call them swipes, right? And there's a long history of this in comics. Like, you know, people don't like to admit to it, but like, for example, in the 90s, there was this artist named Roger Cruz who drew X-Men comics, and another artist named Joe Madureira who also drew X-Men comics. And Cruz was infamous for always swiping from Joe Madureira, poses and drawings and all this other stuff. So it's it's tricky, but on this topic, I would quote Pablo Picasso, right? He said, bad artists copy, good artists steal, right? So what that means is, like, I mean, if you're going to use something else for reference, just do it well to the point where no one can identify what you referenced, and you should be good. Just steal it. Steal like an artist, right? I hope that answered your question. I mean, sometimes I look at other comics for inspiration, but I try to... If you have a lot of references and you have a lot of inspirations, there's less likelihood of you being obvious, you know. I think the big thing you want to avoid is people being able to identify a source that you referenced. You want to hide it as well as possible, and that's part of the art. Disney copies their own animations in their movies. That's true. I've seen those videos. And hell, like, there are artists who friggin' draw the same poses over and over. You know, they do parodies of their own covers and stuff like that. So this is a soft topic. There's no pablum I can give you that would completely answer it, right? It's a case by case basis, and I would say develop your taste, you know, and use references to taste. Be tasteful about it. And that should keep you out of trouble. Okay, I think I'm just about ready to wrap this stream up. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys drew something awesome while you were on it. Do tag me if you post on artwork that you did on the stream. I always love seeing what people worked on, and you know, it makes me happy. I get inspired. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. Yeah. Peace out, guys.